Syllabus. U.S. Supreme Court. United States vs. Strang, 254 U.S. 491 1921 United States vs. Strang No. 20. Argued December 9, 1920 Decided January 3, 1921 254 U.S. 491. Read more. Opinions. Opinions and dissents. United States vs. Strang, 254 U.S. 491 1921. Overview. Opinions. U.S. Supreme Court. United States vs. Strang, 254 U.S. 491 1921 United States vs. Strang No. 20. Argued December 9, 1920 Decided January 3, 1921 254 U.S. 491. Error to the District Court of the United States for the Southern District of Florida. Syllabus. 1. A person employed as an inspector by the Emergency Fleet Corporation is not an agent of the United States, within the meaning of Section 41 of the Criminal Code. p. 254 U.S. 491. 2. The Emergency Fleet Corporation, though all of its stock is owned by the United States, is a separate entity. p. 254 U.S. 492. 3. Generally, agents of a corporation are not agents for the stockholders and cannot contract for them. ID affirmed. The case is stated in the opinion. Page 254 U.S. 492. Mr. Justice McReynolds delivered the opinion of the court. The ultimate question for determination is whether the employment of defendant Strang as an inspector by the United States Shipping Board Emergency Fleet Corporation, without more, made him an agent of the government within the meaning of Section 41, Criminal Code. Sec. 41. No officer or agent of any corporation, joint stock company, or association, and no member or agent of any firm or person directly or indirectly interested in the pecuniary profits or contracts of such corporation, joint stock company, association, or firm shall be employed or shall act as an officer or agent of the United States for the transaction of business with such corporation, joint stock company, association, or firm. Whoever shall violate the provision of this section shall be fined not more than $2,000 and imprisoned not more than 2 years. Holding that this employment did not suffice to create the relation alleged, the trial court sustained a demurrer to the indictment. It contains 4 counts, 3 of which charge that Strang unlawfully acted as agent of the United States in transacting business with the Duval Ship Outfitting Company, a copartnership of which he was a member, in that, while an employee of the Fleet Corporation as an inspector, he signed and executed February 1919 3 separate orders to the outfitting company for repairs and alterations on the steamship Lone Star. The other defendants are charged with aiding and abetting him. The trial court and counsel here have treated the 4th count as charging all the defendants with conspiracy to commit the offenses set forth in the 3 preceding counts. United States vs. Colgate and Company, 250 U.S. 300. Counsel for the government maintain that the Fleet page 254 U.S. 493. Corporation as an agency or instrumentality of the United States formed only as an arm for executing purely governmental powers and duties vested by Congress in the President and by him delegated to it. PYG, that the acts of the corporation within its delegated authority are the acts of the United States, that therefore, in placing orders with the Duval Company in behalf of the Fleet Corporation while performing the duties as inspector, Strang necessarily acted as agent of the United States. The demurrer was properly sustained. As authorized by the Act of September 7, 1916, circa 451, 39 Stat. 728, the United States Shipping Board caused the Fleet Corporation to be organized April 16, 1917, under laws of the District of Columbia with $50 million capital stock, all owned by the United States, and it became an operating agency of that board. Later, the President directed that the corporation should have and exercise a specified portion of the power and authority in respect of ships granted to him by the Act of June 15, 1917, circa 29, 40 Stat. 182, and he likewise authorized the Shipping Board to exercise through it another portion of such power and authority. See the Lake Monroe, 250 U.S. 246, 250 U.S. 252. The corporation was controlled and managed by its own officers and appointed its own servants and agents, who became directly responsible to it. Notwithstanding all its stock was owned by the United States, it must be regarded as a separate entity. Its inspectors were not appointed by the President, nor by any officer designated by Congress. They were subject to removal by the corporation only, and could contract only for it. In such circumstances, we think they were not agents of the United States within the true intendment of Section 41. Generally, agents of a corporation are not agents of the stockholders, and cannot contract for the latter. Apparently this was one reason why Congress authorized organization of the Fleet Corporation. Bank of the United. Page 254 U.S. 494. States vs. Planters Bank of Georgia, 9 wheat. 904, 22 U.S. 907, 22 U.S. 908, Bank of Kentucky vs. Worcester, 2 Pet. 318, Briscoe vs. Bank of Kentucky, 11 Pet. 257, Solis vs. United States, 234 F. 842. The view of Congress is further indicated by the provision in Section 7, Appropriation Act of October 6, 1917, circa 79, 40 Stats. 345, 384. Provided that the United States Shipping Board Emergency Fleet Corporation shall be considered a government establishment for the purposes of this section. Also, by the Act of October 23, 1918, circa 194, 40 Stats. 1015, which amends Section 35, Criminal Code, and renders it criminal to defraud or conspire to defraud a corporation in which the United States owns stock.